Basically, what this means is that for now the Fourth Circuit's opinion stands, which means that the election law is no longer on the books. And the big provision there was one requiring a photo ID at the polls, but there was also a provision involving same-day voter registration at early voting sites, which was a big thing. And there was also an out-of-precinct voting provision there as well that, again, will now stand because of the Fourth Circuit.
Let's be clear for our listeners then. So as of today, North Carolina cannot require a photo identification to vote.
That's right. That is correct. Can't do that. When the next election rolls around, whether it's municipal or statewide, then people who are not registered to vote can go to an early voting site and can register at the polls. And then also the rule about out-of-precinct voting is still allowed at that point. The people can cast, I guess, what amounts to a provisional ballot that would count for the races that are good in the precinct they vote for, but not for the others.
Let's get into the reasons why, perhaps, some stated, some unstated, as to why the U.S. Supreme Court decided not to look at the case. There's been so many players involved in this, Rick. We have a new Democratic governor. He was playing a role. We've got an attorney general that's been playing a role in the General Assembly, of course. So you put all of these people and these factors into this big pot. Why did the Supreme Court decide to pass?
Well, from what you can sort of infer from what the Chief Justice said, it wasn't exactly clear who the parties were involved in this case other than the plaintiffs who brought the lawsuit. Because at the time the lawsuit was filed, the person who was listed as the defendant was Pat McCrory, who was then the governor of North Carolina. Roy Cooper, who was then the attorney general, had decided not to represent the state in the case, and so the governor had to hire his own counsel. When the governor was defeated for re-election and Cooper became governor and Josh Stein became the attorney general, they had actually asked to have the case dismissed. And around that time, the General Assembly attempted to get in and say, well, no, we will represent the state of North Carolina because we were the ones who actually crafted the legislation and passed the law. The court decided not to get into this debate about who's representing North Carolina, and that's why an awful lot of legal analysts think that Chief Justice Roberts just basically said, we're not going to decide who represents North Carolina here, we'll pass for now.